Oh wait, hold on. Sorry.
You don't put the fashions on her, because she's saying you representing me. You gonna be on my trip. You're not gonna have me looking crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought about it when it was going on. So I want to kind of get into the whole Ken. That was another awkward conversation in the middle of dinner, because I know that the ex had the conversation with who was that? Marsau, whatever.
Right.
Okay. So he was jumping in, and so was Mel. There was another shade. Mel with messy boots this whole episode. Let's just say that first of all. So okay, so the asking Ken over and over and over, when was that? When did y'all meet? What time? What hour? What you have on? And I'm like, bro, why are you so invested and what they got going on? They said they never met up close. They would talk to each other like, anybody does social media, and they, of course, the gym thing, but they never actually face to face or nothing like that or disrespectful. And then she also broke it down how her relationship was done for like 2 years. I'll write all this stuff down. She said he said he's known her since 2015. They met in person in 2019, and they had been already separated, I forgot, over a year or 2 years, something like that. Like, and then Mel jumps in and says, well, Marcel can't really have conversation without anything happening. And then Tisha threw some shade and said, maybe Marcel right by Mel. I was like, Jesus Christ. Go ahead. Go. I gave you a lot. Woo.
Okay,
Jesus.
so first of all, with Trish and Ken, um, a couple things. One, I don't know. I hate to go back to production on this, but I think them to kind of sort of just dropping them in there so they have to kind of explain the story or whatever. But honestly, the math isn't mathing. So that's why that leaves them open to all these crazy questions. Is it really appropriate? No, because you don't know them. So just let it go. But it's not really mathing. You know what I mean? Just let the bloggers do it. Let the other people investigate, because it doesn't really. And then we already know, like, however many years ago, she's at Martell's house, and then she's saying she wasn't, and then later admitting that she lies. So I'm not even, I like them as a couple and stuff, but I don't think, just tell your truth. It was some overlap. Maybe you always liked them, and once old boy bounced, you called him. Like, whatever. Just, you know what I'm saying? But I think because she's newer, she's concerned about her appearance or whatever. So it doesn't seem to totally align. And then I do like the fact that it is sort of interesting that they have the ex on there to give his math details. So it's like, okay. And so yeah, you all did meet in person, but he was in your phone. Like, okay. The same way you was DMing Martell, but didn't really go to his house, but then he did go to his house. You know what I'm saying? So the stories are kind of like, okay. So so later it's gonna come out that maybe the husband wasn't all the way gone and Ken didn't know. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying necessarily on Ken's side for sure, but she's already lied. So I think she's a sweet person and she seems very nice, but she has lied. So I'm not convinced with her math. I think she doesn't like to be a part of mess. She probably doesn't want to be a part of confrontation or whatever. So she just kind of keeps quiet about stuff and doesn't, and kind of moves a certain way. But I don't think, she certainly was probably justified to move on from her husband, but there probably was some crossover somewhere.
Well, to me, it seemed like the husband wasn't happy either. When you listen to him talk to what was it, Marsau? When you hear him talk, he didn't seem like he was happy with her. So to me, before Ken came into the picture, it was a struggle bus. They all have made that abundantly clear. I really do think that even Ken said, and they kept interrupting him. Ken said if anything would have started, he would have stopped it because he would not have wanted anything to happen while she was with somebody else. He wanted her without whatever. Even now, you see he's a little bit uncomfortable with the whole situation with them still being married, but you could just see no connection between the two of them as far as her and her husband that she's currently with. So to me, for the first time, I'm inclined to believe that her and him, and like you also say, she's quiet, she doesn't like drama. She keeps her, just to me, I'm really starting to believe that yes. Now the whole thing with her and Martell is a question mark.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know is all I'm saying. I don't think that I agree in that Ken does seem very straightforward. Like, oh, if she was with him, I wouldn't have done anything. But do you know? You know what I'm saying? The same way you know, the confusion about whether or not she went to Martell, like you don't really know how she be moving. I don't think he really knows. So what was going on with the husband or not going on with the husband or what she had told the husband or whatever, you don't know because he came out in the beginning saying, oh, the husband won't sign the papers. What papers, boo? There weren't no papers for him to not sign.
Right, right.
So that
You
so
don't know what she told him. Right, right.
so or she might not, she's the type of person I think who might not necessarily, like I don't think she wants to lie. So she just don't tell you shit, and whatever you assume, she lets you ride with it. So you know what I'm saying? So maybe who knows? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think she just out and out necessary. Well, I think she did lie about Martell, period. But I think with everything else, she's just sort of evasive or whatever. And if you know what I'm saying, and to me, she wanted Ken. So would she let Ken believe whatever he wanted to believe? Yeah, I think that. I think she would because she loves him, she cared about him, the husband, and she might be justified, but I just don't think she's all the way open in how she's moving with Ken or with the ex or with Martell or with whoever.
Well, I will say that they speak about her on social media. She must have been like popping where it was like a lot of men was coming for her, and I'm not meaning in a bad way. You know how you had those models on Instagram for the age group that we're in. She probably was that, especially for the men of Huntsville, and that might be probably why she ended up getting a storyline in the show. They probably started noticing who is this woman, has a past with Martell. Everybody's looking at her pictures and like it. You know what I'm saying? That might be partially why, like you were saying about the storyline, because she was a popping. She's popping. And so, but she's also, you see, she's real quiet and kind of like soft spoken and not really wanting to, like you say, not really going for the limelight, opposed to like a Sunny, who I think wants to have Destiny's spot, but she's not a Destiny. Destiny just to impress. She's always ready to. She's ready. Period. She's not. I'm sorry. It's like apples and oranges when it comes to the two of them. I don't see the comparison. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Although I will say this though, I saw Destiny. Okay, so I'm not clear how they're going to do the filming or whatever. So Destiny didn't go to the luncheon with Kimmy, and then later when she was having lunch with Kimmy and Tisha to go over it, she's like, "Oh, I had a date or something." I'm like, "Girl, if you're on a date, you need to bring your date. We need to see your date. Like, are you in the show or not?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah, I
"What?"
didn't understand that
And
either.
I'm like, okay, we can't have this storyline all evolved around you. And once again, you're in the show, not showing your life. Like all
Yeah, I
y'all
didn't
can
understand
go
that.
or all y'all can be in, but
Right.
we need this.
Because even Kimmy said you could have brought your date. So I'm like, girl, what was the purpose? First you said I'm out of town. I'm on a date. Which one is? Are you out of town on a
Right. That's what I
date?
said too. I was like, wait, I thought she just said she out of town. So I was like, okay, everybody lying. Like, were you out of town? Were you out of town on a date? Is that what you're saying? And then that makes me go back to, okay, that's what happened with, that's how we got here with Moses. You dating these people long
Out of
distance.
town,
Ain't
exactly.
nobody in
Girl,
Huntsville for you to date.
girl,
Like, what?
girl. Let me tell you, because our show's like for the same. Wait a minute, what is going on?
Right. I was like, yeah. Girl, I was like, wait, what? Out of town on a date? Like, girl, we need more information because either that's hopefully it's just not true, just something you threw out there. I'm like, what is you talking about? After Moses, you go date another long distance brother? Like,
Yes. I'm like, child. That's what I'm saying. A mess, a mess. Well, the
oh,
big
and
announcement.
then
Oh,
on
go ahead.
that, oh well, go ahead.
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
Well, then the whole thing, another thing where I'm confused is when so Melody, introduced the trip. So then Tisha, which we all kind of knew, her plus one was gonna be Destiny, which like why wouldn't you
Mhm.
just tell Mel that to begin with? I didn't understand it. But then Mel was like, well, if you're willing to share a bed with her, because it's only so many rooms. And then Tish was like, no. And then and then when she gets to the dinner with Destiny, she invites her anyway. Like, okay, rewind.
Yes.
We need production to put a little clip, but you're gonna be in the bed with Destiny. You need to tell Destiny that before you pack a bag because she's gonna have to share a bed with you because she's not gonna have extra room. So it's like,
Which
um,
which which is why I have the island theme up here, and of course, y'all don't know Miss Erica is the island girl. Y'all better Erica, tell me your background.
well, my father is from Antigua, so so half of
Beautiful.
my family is Caribbean, is from the island of Antigua, and it's so funny because I went to St. Thomas. I can't wait to see what they do because I went to St. Thomas in January of
Mhm,
23, like about a year
mhm,
ago, for
mhm.
about a week. And it was real, I was kind of it was like a work vacation thing, but I'm like, oh, I want to see because it's so easy to go. So I'm like,
Wow,
you
I
just,
bet beautiful.
you don't need a passport or nothing. Just
Oh wow, really?
get your driver's license and catch a plane. So I'm like, all right, let's see where they go. It's
That's crazy. Didn't know that. Okay,
but yeah,
so yeah.
it's one of the US Virgin Islands.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
So everything, I mean, it's Caribbean, but it's also very American. So you're not really gonna save no money on this vacation, honestly. But but like I don't know in Dallas, but like when I was there, they have Kmart, girl. I ain't seen Kmart in so many years. I took a
Oh
photo.
my
Like, hey,
God.
Kmart, let's get it. So
I would have for sure went there, girl, because I was a
yes,
kid.
girl.
That was a no-no to go
I got
into.
liquor. I got the T-shirt. You know how
That is
Kmart is like
crazy.
all
Oh
your
my
little,
God.
all your stuff. So anyway, so I can't wait to see that episode just to see
What
where they
happens?
are and stuff. Because
Right.
you know how I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when I see the housewives trips and stuff, I'm like, oh, I want to go there. I might go there. And then St. Thomas is a place like Puerto Rico. You can go.
Gotcha.
We
I
all
need to.
can go. So and we can do it pretty easily. So yeah.
Well, see, growing up for me, I was a military child, so like going to places like I was in the Philippines for 3 years of my life, and so I traveled since I was born. I got to a point where I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to be overseas because that was like I remember when we came back, girl. And I say to my entire family, we like kissed the ground when we came back to America, and so I remember as I grew up, I was like, I'm just gonna chill, and I just really haven't. But I need to. My mom, we were so much recently. I need to get back into traveling again. I don't know why. I feel like my whole life we was on somebody's plane. We
Mm,
wasn't in America. Like, girl, yeah,
that's true. That's true. That's true. So we can have a whole
yeah,
travel episode. But yeah, no, I because
yes,
that's the
yes.
thing. Actually, the actual travel part is the horrible part. I think if
Mm,
you have an idea of what you like and kind of how you want to, I think it's a lot of planning and how you want things to be around you when you get someplace, then that gives you the freedom to kind of enjoy their culture and stuff. So I think that's a nice part of traveling. But yeah, the planes and the bags and the all
right,
that stuff is like ugh. But yes.
gotcha. So okay, so anyways, that's why I had the island theme, like I said, because the trip is where I think it's really gonna get the tea is gonna be really gonna be spilled. Okay. But before we get to that part, I do want to talk about the fact that at Kimmy's house, she did have over Destiny and Tisha. Kimmy did explain awkwardly to Destiny, even though it was the moment, even though the breast cancer moment, and how she responded was, yes, that was a moment she showed you that side. But it was just so funny to segue. But they talked about the Martell situation, and like Trish was like, you look out, she's trying to take your friend, and she's telling her I wanted to invite Destiny to all these different things. So Destiny on her confessional saying, everybody wants to be involved with her. They're all saying that they team Destiny, but pretty much she's saying it's not giving that. Which I was saying earlier. Do you agree with
Yeah,
that?
I agree. It's not. I mean, the only person I think who really get away with it is Martell because okay, I need the money. He
Mhm,
need money. He got a million
mhm.
kids. Like if somebody wants to buy my house, I can't be like my girl don't like you. I can't sell the house. Like that's the only one that halfway makes sense. Because it's really business related. He's not trying to kick it. Although I will
Right.
say the way he kind of talked to Moses and
Okay.
stuff, he
Mm.
seemed like he was kind of, I think he kind of thinks it's light and funny because he's like, woo, everybody got a side piece or whatever, right? So, But at the end of the day, I do feel like you can sell your house to someone and not be their friend or whatever. Like, I don't really feel like that is necessarily developing a relationship with Sunny and Moses. You're just selling the house. So that part, I
But the two things. I agree with what you said. 100% could be all business. But if you are handling the business, the first call should have been made once this arrangement was started. Should have been Destiny, and then that would already be you'd already been covered all your bases. Destiny would have been in a no, and the Sunny then would have been understood as well. I'm doing this. This is business, but you have to understand my loyalty to my friend Destiny. Everything would have been covered from that point. None of that was done. That's all I'm saying.
right. Right. And I agree with that. And I agree with that. I said that before. Like, he should just, or he could send her a text. Like, it's not really that deep, but you could just let the person know, give them a heads up. So I totally agree with that part. I mean, I think it's okay for him to sell the house. I do feel like, I don't know, like when you're selling the house, you have real estate agents and stuff. Like, I'm kind of confused necessarily. Like,
Mm,
you don't really have to even be there to show the
mm,
house. Like, you don't even live in the house anymore. So
mhm.
some of it, I think, I don't know if it's him or production or whatever. I felt like he did
Good
have
call
more,
out.
yeah, he had more engagement with them than he really needed to. But
Good call. Yes.
at the end of the day, you can sell the house to them. That's fine.
Right. Right.
But
Agreed.
to be like, oh, hey, all this, whatever, all the chit chat and y'all
Yep.
trying to have kids, all that other stuff,
Yes, come on now.
you
Why
know,
was that discussion? And the thing about it, that wasn't the only person that they discussed that with. Let's really talk about it, because a discussion, as I think you and I said this before, as intimate as you and I having discussions like, okay, hey, you're telling me, oh, Camille just got married, we're talking about in vitro, but I know that you wouldn't have that discussion with everybody unless you maybe sit on your channel or whatever. But otherwise, if you didn't, you wouldn't be just openly. She had that discussion. I'm saying she, as in Sunny, with Kimmi, and I forgot who else. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, she's part of the circle now. I just felt like it was so microwave bubble emotion attachment. I'm trying to get the words together here.
well,
Intimacy, okay. You know what I'm saying? But to me,
yeah,
that's a
so
heavy topic. You
right,
understand what I'm
so
saying with that?
yeah, so a couple of things. So to
Okay.
me, either I feel like it's sort of like, um okay, one, sometimes you want people to think that they're your friend by revealing some personal information about you that probably is not appropriate, and that person feels like, oh, okay, if they told me this, we must be closer than we really are.
True.
So I think in real life, that's how that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
On a produced show, I would say you have a script, and who's ever writing the script, in writing, it's called something is too on the nose. Like, you don't meet somebody and be like, oh, my mother abused me as a child, so that's why I hate women. Like, nobody would say that. But certain people, I won't say who, the famous billionaire, certain people write their scripts like
Okay.
that.
Right.
So to me, that's what this is kind of giving. Like, so it's very sort of like, okay, we want the audience to know that she's getting in vitro, but nobody knows her. These aren't really her friends, so she just has to randomly say this, right, or
Right.
whatever. Like, I feel like it's some producer being like, okay, tell them this during this scene, and it doesn't actually make sense because it's not stemming from a real relationship. And that is the issue that we're really having with Tricia and Ken. It's like,
Okay.
I don't know you. If I said he's my fiance, that's it. Like, I don't, why am I at dinner answering questions yet again?
Mm-hmm.
And I just met y'all. Like, I'm just your trainer, boo. Like, I'm just telling you how many reps to do. Like, you don't really need to.
Stupid.
I don't even see why you need to know when my husband and I separated and I started dating somebody else. Like, how, like, we haven't even gotten that tight yet. So, but I think I kind of feel like production is doing it maybe to save the show or to
Okay.
get some new blood in there. And so
Interesting.
it, they're kind of smashing their history on us real quick, but it doesn't, but it does, because to me, I'm like, it makes you look at Martell and Marsau and all of them crazy. Because I'm like, yeah, if we happen to meet you out in the streets, are you going to start asking us first?
Right. Right.
First world
Exactly.
questions like you gonna be somebody be like, oh, I watch your show. Next thing you know, they gonna be asking you something crazy. Like,
That's
wait,
some real. That's real. That's some real stuff.
how many babies do you have? Do they have the
Look.
same
Period.
father? Do you rent or do you own? Like, what? Wait, what? I
Girl.
just want to follow you on Instagram. That's it. That's
That's it. That's
so
all I needed, baby. What the hell you think?
so so yeah. So to me, that's because I'm looking at the cast members. Like, are y'all really interested, or is someone telling you
Right.
you have to ask this because you don't know these people?
You don't. So I wanted to kind of segue into honestly the last two things I wanted to talk about. The last thing being the trip going into the next episode, but the other thing I want to talk about the last part of this episode was how Destiny was. I'm sorry, not Destiny. I'm sorry. Mel was talking to Sunny, and you know more about the past of the show, so you probably maybe more can really get in depth with this. But how she was like, okay, well, Kimmy, did want to call Martell's ex a side chick. And she's like, we have 14 years in relationship. She said, you could, Destiny and Moses weren't married or anything, or you had a kid together. And they're so up in arms about it. And it just, when she brought it up to my attention, I was like, wow, that was a different side for me to look at. And I really wanted to get your opinion on it. I'm going to give mine, but what do you
Well,
think?
okay, so my opinion, and everybody knows I really like Mel, and I will
Yes, they do.
say this episode, I thought she looked fly. Her hair was tight, whether it was
It
short or
was.
long. She was like, look, I'm not gonna be on TV half stepping, so she looks great. So I'll give her that that part.
So
So to
sweet.
me, I got, and I hate to, bring back kind of a sad thing, but to me, I feel like sometimes Mel moves with um how should I put it, the the enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever. So
Okay.
I felt like she's deciding to befriend Sunny because she was so hurt that the ladies didn't support her with the Martell stuff. Because when they kind of split, everybody like Martell is still on the show, and he been
Mhm,
had all
mhm.
kinds of charges, all kinds of craziness. Was he stalking a woman? Like he's done all kinds of things, and everybody's sort of like, well, he's a good guy. I want to see you guys back together. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And that has really hurt her. And so she also doesn't
Mm,
like Destiny. So now she's like, okay, I'm going to be cool. To me, it's giving because they were so hard, or because they kind of cast a blind eye to Martell's faults or whatever in the marriage and the breakup and all that stuff. And maybe they supported her, but not like she felt she needed to be supported.
mhm,
Now with Destiny, they're all on Destiny's side, unlike she would have expected them to be with her, because she was married, she had kids, she had all this, and they should have been like, yes, we're with you. Martell ain't nothing. And
mm.
instead they're more like that with Destiny and against Sunny. And she's just like, wait, why are they team Destiny? She wasn't
Okay.
married. Destiny,
Mhm.
whatever. She's not a Destiny fan. And so she can show grace to Sunny out of that place of hurt by the other women and the other couples or whatever, because those couples definitely, and I'm not really sure. It's like, are you really that tight with Sunny, or you just don't like that there's some sort of double standard or hypocrisy in how they're dealing with Sunny and Destiny's scenario versus how they dealt with Melody and Martell?
Mm.
Very much, what I was going to say, to, not to bring it back up or to be kind of sad or whatever, very much the way she kind of, I kind of would question her initial friendship with Kiki, because
Okay.
it was kind of like you brought in Kiki because you thought Kiki was talking mess about Tricia, or what, her cousin, Letitia, sorry. And
No,
so,
you good.
I'm saying, so kind of the same way, where it's like, okay, if someone is sort of the ops, then if if Melody ain't all the way kosher with the other people, she's gonna give that person some grace.
Right.
And I think that's and or befriend them and try, you know,
No,
and
you're good.
befriend them. And so that's kind of what it was giving with Sunny, because it's like, okay, I get that the woman didn't
So a really quick, people in the chat was kind of listening to what you were saying, what we're talking about here.
yeah,
The other cast members always give Martell too much grace. Wow, Paramore. Wow. Melody needs an ally on the cast. They all appear against her. Sunny appears to be kind-hearted individual inside. She was very comforting to Kimmy, even though she was a Kimmy producer. So let me speak on a couple of things. For the situation with me feeling like she's trying to come into this place, this space, I'm gonna say that you could be all those things that Amina says, kind-hearted, all those things, but you could also be a woman outside looking in. If you are a producer on a show, see the different dynamics and want to be a part of it as a human. You know, we're all human and we're prone to have feelings and emotions. You see this and you want to be a part of it. You were close to Destiny, but yet one thing we didn't talk about, I'll say it real quick. You said you weren't close to her, but even some of the girls brought up, okay, you used to meet her at plane trips, all kind of stuff outside the show. Again, that sounds like friendship to me. But again, I wasn't in the friendship, so I'm not judging it. But there's different things that come out that sounds like that was your friend. Now, with that being said, if you don't think you that tight enough to still go after her man or not go after her man or y'all fall in love later, whatever situation was, that's neither here or there. But I just feel like that male, yes. It sounds like to me it is kind of weird the dynamic that people are kind of shooing Sunny to the side, but when all that was going on, the opposite was done. I wasn't watching the show. That is odd to me. But like you said, befriending the enemy, da da da, that seems that way as well. Why are you befriending her so tight? Half the girls you have issues with. So now you're trying to make a team male over here. And I understand what Amina's saying that she doesn't have an alliance or not. I'm not like I'm talking about the challenge or something like that. An ally on the cast, and that is unfortunate too. But I just think going about the wrong way to me would be trying to befriend Sunny in that capacity. I just think
right.
that you understand what I'm saying. Like
Well,
that's.
okay, so here's the thing,
Mhm.
Amina, the in the chat. I agree with uh I agree with most of what you're saying, except to me, I feel like, okay, I agree that Mel might need an ally, and maybe they're presenting one. Uh Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So wait, let me go back to the part about Mel. So I think Mel does need, I think that part is true. Even though Mel is trying to build fences and stuff,
Mhm.
she would have to do more, I think, to really have a friendship with these ladies. But to
Okay.
me, I'm like, that's what we're watching for, boo. So for you to bring in new people, like, okay, I guess, because you got to film with somebody, but the whole point is try to make an effort with the people that you're try to make an effort with the folks that are on the show that we all like and love. That's what we here for. That's
Mhm.
one thing. Two, I think that bringing in bringing in these people that are in opposition to suddenly build friendships with them, like, bring in one of your friends as a new person or something if you really need it, but to build a friendship with everyone um out of sort of this place of negativity, I don't think is ever going to really end great, right? And then the issue that I have with Sunny, like, everybody has a good side and a bad side or whatever, and everybody sort of makes mistakes and however you want to put it. So to me, if Destiny was her friend, there was good in her. It's not like she's, this isn't Marvel or something. She's not like the Joker, but she's moving in a way that's crazy. Like, to me, it's like, okay, some people are married and they cheat, like with Tricia or whatever, and to me, it's like, okay,
Right.
if you made the mistake, what would be interesting TV, like, it's sort of interesting to watch you fake it and shake it, but just be real and be honest and just humble yourself and be like, it was an error, but this is the love that I have and I want to do better or whatever. And to me, if Sunni and Moses came with, okay, it was wrong how it started, but it's still a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Or just apologize to Destiny and be like, we didn't mean to hurt you. We both respected you, but this is the love that we have. That's it. That's all
Right.
you have to do instead of coming in like, I don't owe you nothing. You didn't come to my birthday. Like, coming in like, okay, I know I treated you like trash, but you deserve it. Okay, if that's what you want to go with, but now who wants to be cool with that person? Nobody.
Right. I agree. I
And
agree.
to me, I understand that Mel may have been hurt by the ladies' sort of hypocrisy or whatever, but in their allegiance and even the show's allegiance to Martell, and I think her friendship with Sunni is coming from that, but it's like, nah, don't do that to film with somebody. It's better people to film with.
Right. Right. Like,
Go
I mean,
there and let
girl.
old girl build your booty up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you
You're
want
so
to
stupid.
do
I
some
cannot.
squats, do some squats with Trisha and Ken or whatever. If you want to get your booty a little bit bigger or
Wow.
whatever, that's another way to film with somebody in the cast who has something going on. But
Yes. You are
messing with
so silly.
somebody who is kind of moving shady, no.
I mean, that's what I mean. No, that's real talk. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to actually transpire for all this. I just wanted to talk about that in the side chick situation. I just want to hear your thoughts on it. The side chick thing is like, for me, everybody has an issue with it. I cover famous empire. I'm sorry, famous. Family Empire Houston, where her name is Keisha on the show, and this is debates. Me, everybody was talking about this debate. The father that he married to his wife, and he had a girlfriend on the side, and because like the counselor, the sister said side baby on the side or side baby. I'm not a side baby, da da da, and everybody's like, yes, you are. So it's like it's just that word really triggers a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. I will say that. And so that's
Right.
what made me think about it as well when she said, I would not call lady a side chick, but to Mel, that is a sign of betrayal because in her mind, that is a side chick. This is a woman that was with her husband while they were still in married with children. So
Right,
yeah.
exactly. But then what's so funny is the whole thing with because Martell, that's what's so funny about Martell too, because Martell is quick to be like, okay, well, yeah, Nell, weren't you the side chick? Yeah, Kimmy, when Maurice was still with old girl, weren't you halfway a side chick? So it's
Mm,
like the side chick
wow.
terminology can run both ways, okay? Or side guy or side whatever. So in several people's relationships, everybody's trying to make these long arguments that they're not there's no crossover. And
Right.
and we give it everybody the side eye, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's not leave, let's leave the cross,
Right,
because
girl.
some people move on earlier than others. So who's to say when the beginning and when is the end? So we'll just, but I think everybody's so offended by that. But at the end of the day, sometimes there is crossover. And if you've made that mistake, just own up to it and move past it, as opposed to all of the energy and the lie and the defense of no, 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 when there is some gray area there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Let's talk into the messiness that's about to go down, child. Next episode. Let me tell you something. First of all, I wasn't ready for the trailer. And I was like, why is it that the trailer? Well, hold on, before we get into this. Kimi Amina says Destiny was extremely angry that Melody was included in that performance, where Destiny didn't know Melody would be there too. I think Destiny complained about it, etc. Outside child. That's why Kimmy didn't want to use the correct term side chick because people were calling her the side chick. She was triggered by the term. Interesting. Now you
Yeah,
know more about
yeah,
this than me.
yeah. That's what I think too. I agree with that, and that because I feel like, and then the same way Nell might be triggered by it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because it's like it's like, okay, when you the second wife or the second whatever,
Right.
and the first person is like, well, you've been around. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So, and that could be the same thing that Trisha is dealing with Ken and her ex. Like, okay, they never met, but that person was laying the groundwork, laying a
Mm.
foundation for when your main person acts a fool. So, you
Wow.
know, I mean, and so then there's always going to be that sort of, you know, that sort of dilemma. And I think really Nell has really been hurt by the fact that it's almost like people weren't taking what Martell did seriously enough. And even though he cheated, he had another baby, something that seemed totally like, you know, aghast and unbelievable. He's still, you know, on the show like everything's hunky dory. And the people, and some people, Marsau in particular,
Mhm.
and I think part of some of the men may be supporting him because they know the stuff they've done that hasn't come to light, you know,
Right,
probably.
of course, of
So
course. It's a
that's
lot
why
of
I
that.
think some of them are like, oh, Martell's a good guy. But
Like
yeah.
they played that so many times where it was like, you know, and so like I said, for me, I wasn't covering this show, and so watching how all the ladies were saying that he's a good guy. If I was in that position, I mean, a male position, that would have to be rough to be enclosed that way. To know the people that I've known, and like she said, cooked for, ate with, had children around, all these things, that she was supporting the other woman or whatever. That's gotta be really unfortunate, and I would feel nasty about it, and it would leave a nasty taste in my mouth as well. So
Right,
I,
I agree,
you know,
but I don't think the answer to that is to now be friends
it's
with Sunni,
right. I agreed. I
to now
don't.
be cool with a side chick. No, that's not the answer either, really. But I agree that she should be, and it makes sense that she's actually hurt by kind of their actions and stuff, and also the double standards, because it's like the same way they were hard with her, she would expect them to sort of be a little bit hard with Destiny. Like, well, Destiny, you weren't with him, da 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 da, the same
Right,
way,
right, right.
you know.
Exactly.
And and it's interesting that they're not. So I
I
mean,
agree.
she has them.
Shout out to y'all on Instagram. I see Chris from Family Empire Houston's in the chat. Shout out to you, Chris. Happy Sunday.
Sunday.
I'm sending to the break. We had their episode came on last Friday past. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on. I did the recap yesterday. So yeah, I do agree. Martell has been discussing. People still treat him like he's normal. It's crazy the things that I have seen and heard about Martell, and that nobody really kind of says things. It's crazy to me. But so I want to get.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about that, this kind of I don't know if it's a reflection on our community or whatever, but it's
Okay.
like, you know, he's good looking, he's educated, you know, he has all these things that we um I don't want to say idolize, but these things that we sort of want in a black man,
Mm-hmm.
that we're willing to ignore
Mm,
this other whole huge craziness.
I
And
agree with that too.
it's like, man, you know, I mean, as someone who watches Love After Lockup, it's like,
Sure.
oh, okay, are we so geeked that this person has these outside credentials that we're not looking at what their character is? Because, like, really, you know, you watch them on the show, but I just remember watching that Tasha K interview and just being like, oh, you know, like I used to halfway be like, you know, but once he really started talking and kind of making his excuses and just the way he's moving, and it's like he does have a charisma, I guess, to him or whatever, but it's like, okay, you can't excuse, and he's not really or I haven't really seen him really be humble his whole, and oh, and then let's talk about this too right quick before we get out of here. Uh Letitia, but I keep missing her name.
I
Letitia's
do too.
comment about Um, oh, maybe Martell was right about Melody.
Yes, I put that in my notes as well. I
That
think I
was
mentioned it briefly.
the
Yes, I
yeah, the
did.
reason that I segue to that is because Martell always acts like Melody cheated, and that's okay for him to now do all the like she didn't have a baby by you by somebody else. You know what I mean? Like you know all those kids are yours. Like what is you talking about? Whether I don't know if she did or she didn't, right? But
Hmm.
he always tries to act like because she did, and in any divorce, there's two people in a relationship. There's gonna be, to some extent fault on both sides. Like nobody's perfect, but it's like,
Hmm.
dude, you did the most for a long time. So, and it's so interesting that he's always trying to get out there, get the word out that she cheated. It's like, dude, it's over. Like, just whatever.
He
And
does.
I think for Letitia
Right.
to
Hmm.
bring it up, it's like I don't know. I just thought that was kind of crazy to me. Like I was like, girl, wait, what? Just because she's defending the fact that Ken and Trisha may have had something that wasn't sexual, now you're saying that means that she cheated in her marriage?
Wow.
Like it but then also I thought Latricia was shady this episode as well with Kimmy and Destiny too. Like, well, she was kind of, I don't know, she was doing a lot, I think, in this episode.
It was a lot. It was a lot going on. Amina says Martell has exhibited AB behavior to his children, volatile behavior toward many of the women on the show, especially Melody. The revenge P is despicable. No way he should remain on the show. She also said Letitia appears to almost hate Melody because she knows that Marsau has a thing for Melody. Wow. Wow, wow,
That's
wow.
interesting.
Wait a minute.
I know. I don't know if I think Marceau has a thing for Melody, but I do think
Interesting.
Letitia, I think because early on,
Hmm.
I don't remember what season that was, but there was this whole thing with these pictures in Atlanta and the fullback or the halfback or whatever. So there's always these allegations that there were times when Martell was cheating
Hmm.
and the other men also were, doing a little something, specifically Marceau. That's always been like a lot of rumors around Marceau. So to me, I do think Letitia hates Melody, but I think it's more because Melody probably, if she doesn't know actual facts and people, she probably is well aware that Martell wasn't cheating, wasn't out there cheating with his boys, just looking on doing nada. So I think, but they've never, no one's ever come up. Marceau's never, hasn't, had a baby or nothing. No,
Right.
nobody's talking on Marceau. So he's, but I think Letitia has her doubts and she knows that Melody is always looking like, girl, you and I had the same marriage, but you staying. And I think for that reason, I do think Letitia is not ever, I don't, hopefully she can get past it, but I do think she has a very strong disdain for Melody.
Hmm. But that's crazy what you said because they go back and forth. I'm just being transparent. Every time they see each other, mind this is me outside looking in. I can see why this narrative is probably amongst the subscribers and fans. Just saying. I can see it. Not saying I see them like, oh, they're doing something, whatever. I'm not saying that. But I can see how they can say it because they always have this tension. And I don't understand where tell me the backstory. I don't want to get too much detail. We're gonna go to the rabbit hole.
Oh no,
Because I
I see
want
what you're saying. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I see it. I don't know. I mean, but I guess you're right. I mean, Marcel might like that, melody, that fiery melody. So, I mean, I could see how it could, I mean, how people could think that as well. I mean, that's valid. That's valid because he's like, I'm a B. Let me go. So I can see it. I mean, I see
wow.
what you're saying. I mean, I can see where the fans can get that he might have a thing for her. I don't know. Yeah, I think Letitia's disdain for her is a little bit deeper than that, but I can see what they're saying in terms of there being some underlying tension there.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So what I will say about this next episode, oh my god, hold on, me to keep on talking about Letitia appears to be jealous of Melody's ability to leave an unhappy marriage. Ooh, take good care of her children, thrive, and look beautiful doing it. She loved to leave Marsau. What do you think about that? Ooh, we.
Um, I don't know if I would say she'd love to leave Marceau, but I do feel like the other part might be true. I do feel like she I do feel like she has some sort of she's getting stronger each season, so who knows where things will go. I do feel like at least for a while that she has some sort of self-esteem issues and was kind of just going with it and but I think she does have this goal of um being the businesswoman that Melody is and
Mhm.
also the kids and stuff. Like I don't know in terms of like I think they're both beautiful women. They just look really different. So I don't know if
Right.
she has any sort of insecurities in sort of her appearance or anything, but
Hmm.
I think she definitely wants that dream of being the the super mom, the boss, the boss bee, the business mogul who can balance the family. Like I think she definitely wants that for sure.
Okay.
I think she tries to put on a good face, but I think between the stuff that happens on Instagram and the rumors and stuff, I think a lot of that gets to her for sure. And even in this season, we're seeing her finally, halfway, not even all the way, but halfway standing up to Marcel and be like, well, no, you shouldn't say these things to me in public, or you shouldn't do these things because they make me feel away. Because she used to never really say nothing to him. So
Mm.
so we do realize, like, okay, you realize that some of his behavior is just crazy and ridiculous. And she is starting to slowly, stand up to him.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I do want to get into
Oh wait, and read this one. Amina here. This is and that's true. I
she's very beautiful. She's
I
very beautiful.
agree. And I really agree with that on terms of Letitia. I think she's beautiful. I think she's smart. I think she, you know, I think she has all the things that she wants in herself, but I just don't feel like she realizes or she doesn't seem all the way confident in it.
Mm.
And that way, because if she really was, then it'd be easier to stand up to Marceau or whatever, because it's like, I got this. And she does. But I think, maybe her whole views of marriage or, she deeply, deeply loves him. There may be some things that are really um, like to me, I feel like she could just be stronger with him or stronger or just more self confident or something like that. But
Okay.
yes.
So I want to talk about what's going to be coming up this next episode, which is going to be crazy. They're going to be going to St. Thomas. That's a big trip and all these kind of things. Um, the thing of it is, it's so messy that there's going to be like some kind of altercation almost with Nail and Kimmy. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. The Sunny's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure Destiny's gonna be there. It's gonna be very messy. Like,
Now, did
I
you
want
see Destiny?
girl.
Because that's the thing. I was like, is Destiny gonna
I
come
thought she
later?
was there.
Because
I
I
thought she
didn't
was
see
there. I could have
Destiny, but
sworn.
then was everybody hair braided or something? I couldn't really tell, but
Girl,
I
I
didn't
know.
even
Maybe
see
maybe I'm
her.
tripping.
And then that was my whole thing. I was like, we went through all this and Destiny not gonna come. Like, definitely should be there for filming purposes. But I did not really see her in the clip. So I was like, but then you know what? Maybe that's how they filmed it to make it more interesting. Because I do feel like she should probably be there. And the whole way they were like, oh, I didn't know Sunny was coming. But then I was just like, well, I guess it's a good thing Destiny's not here because, but then I also didn't see because Mel said she had friends or something that were coming. I didn't see
She
anybody
did.
who wasn't in the cast. So maybe the clips that they showed us were real specific. So yeah, so if Destiny, the whole thing with Destiny and Sunny being there is like both crazy. And then but yeah, I'm not sure. Like that kind of makes me really want to see it, because I'm like, what could Nell have against Kimmy? Like, or why would she be like, oh, I want to beat their ass? Like, I don't even
That
know.
was out of there. I was like, girl, what? Like that threw me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
That
me
really threw
too,
me.
because I was just like, okay, what could it be? So that kind of will be interesting to see, because now we did see one thing we didn't talk about because it wasn't really that interesting. Nell and Chris in this episode.
I did in the beginning. You
Oh,
wouldn't hear you.
okay.
But go ahead.
So
You
yeah,
can
no,
go
no,
ahead.
no. I mean, there's nothing really to say about it. So I do see where like Nell says, she does go 0 to 100. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what what that is all about.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to know what's the tea with that, because that's girl. Oh, that just did not look good.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like when you think like, okay, what could it be? Like, what could it be? So
Right.
maybe I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be some fallout because of Sunny being there, because they've all sort of dealt with Sunny differently. So that part will be interesting, especially since Mel went back and told Sunny whatever. So maybe it's some fallout from that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nell had her own little conversations with Sunny. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what that really is about.
Ah, girl. Yeah. So that's it, y'all. I don't have really anything else. What you got going on your channel? I know you're coming back. So what tell everybody what you got going on. We got 50 people in here watching right now. So tell them
Um,
what's going on.
Okay, so I am going to wrap up with the final of 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, finally. And then there's been some sort of Michael and Angela stuff going on. So I'm going to probably do a separate video for actually Michael and Angela, which is the main couple I even care about. Um, on that show, I'm getting caught back up on Love After Lockup, because
Mm-hmm.
that just started back up.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see, like maybe a little commentary on some of the other sort of shenanigans out there in the streets. But oh, and you know what? I think I'm going to start doing Real Housewives of Orange County, because that one
Okay.
actually is okay this season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think if anything else is coming up, but I think for now that will be it. But so yeah, so I'm getting stuff back up this week. So I'll keep everyone posted.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm really happy that you are back as well. Shout out to everybody on Erica's channel who's actually watching and supporting this live. Make sure you guys, Erica has her Cash App under her name. Please make sure you guys hit that up and follow her channel. Type into YouTube on my live. Erica's like to follow you there as well. Make sure y'all know it's really important to me that any of the people that come on my channel that are on the panel, is important to me that you guys support their content as well. But because of the fact that we share this live, you'll be able to see us both interacting, and then also could see her interacting with YouTube today. So this was a good live. Appreciate you, Mama. We'll be back next Sunday. Because Erica, you gotta come next Sunday because it's gonna be really messy. I'm
Oh, I
gonna need
know.
you.
Next Sunday's going to be great. I
It's
can't
gonna be
wait
very
to
good.
see St.
Ah.
Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, because nobody ever really goes there from what I can see. So I can't wait.
All right, y'all. With that being said, we are Audi 5000G. We're gonna twerk our way up out of here.